All right, let's just dive right in. We're going to talk about one of the biggest, and I mean biggest, mistakes in UX design. It's a super common pitfall that's behind, so much of the frustration we all feel with bad products. We're talking about designing for outcomes, not just a laundry list of features.
So, does this sound familiar at all? You're in a meeting and someone says, you know what we need? A dashboard. Or, we definitely need more filters. Or the big one these days, we should add some AI to it. It's that constant stream of ideas for stuff to add, right? A very, very common way to kick off a project.
Yep. Sound familiar? Well, that right there, that's what we call the feature-first trap. And it's a trap because, honestly, it feels really productive, doesn't it? You're coming up with ideas, you're building a list. But what's really happening is you're setting yourself up to go down completely the wrong road from the very beginning.
Okay, so the feature-first trap. Let's really break this down. It's all about getting hyper-focused on what to build, the actual things, the buttons, the menus, the dashboard. But you're so focused on the what that you forget to take a giant step back and ask the most fundamental question of all. Why are we even building this?
And here's the brutal truth, really. Most bad UX, it comes from this exact problem. You end up with these products that are just bloated. They're jam-packed with features, but they completely fail to help users do the one simple thing they showed up to do. And what happens? People get confused, they get frustrated, and honestly, it's just a recipe for disaster.
So how do we escape this? How do we avoid the trap? Well, the solution is a really big but simple mindset shift. It's about learning to think in user goals. And I'm not kidding, this one change, it reframes absolutely everything you do as a designer.
So what is a user goal, really? But let me tell you what it's not. It's not the user wants to click a button. It's not the user wants to use a filter. It's about what the user is trying to achieve. It's the real-world outcome they're after. It is totally 100% independent of any features, any buttons, or any screens in your app.
I've loved this comparison because it just makes it so clear. The user goal, that's the outcome. It's the why. The feature, that's just the tool. It's the what. The goal is the reason you're here. The feature, well, the feature is totally optional. It's just one possible tool you could use to reach that goal. The goal always comes first.
Okay, and this is a fantastic way to think about it. Think about an engineer. A good engineer doesn't walk in and say, we need an API. No, they start with the goal. We need a way to exchange data securely. See the difference? The API is just one possible solution to that problem. And UX design, it works the exact same way.
All right, so that's the theory. But theory is one thing. Let's see what this looks like in the real world. We're going to look at a couple of examples to see how this whole goal-first mindset completely changes the game.
Okay, first up, a fitness app. Now, the old feature-first way of thinking would give you a list that looks something like this, right? We need a step counter. We need workout videos, a diet tracker, progress charts. It's basically just a checklist of tools, a bunch of stuff the app can do. But this is where we have to stop. We have to pause and ask that all-important question. Just forget the list of features for a minute. What does the person using this app actually want to do? What are they really trying to achieve?
And there it is. The user wants to build a consistent workout habit. It's so simple, right? It's human. And it's incredibly powerful. All of a sudden, you're not building a step counter anymore. You're designing an experience to help someone build a habit. That little shift changes every single design decision you're going to make from here on out.
Okay, let's do another one. A food delivery app. The feature-first team, oh, they're busy. They're building out advanced filters, a flashy promotions page, a whole loyalty point system. Again, just a list of features.
But you know what's coming, right? We have to ask the question. When someone pulls out their phone and opens that app, what is the core, in-the-moment thing they're trying to do?
It's pretty simple. The user wants to get food quickly with minimal effort. They're hungry, they want food, they want it now, and they don't want to think about it. And that goal, well, that tells you immediately what to prioritize. Things like a giant reorder my last meal button, not a super complicated filtering system.
And this brings us to a really important, kind of counterintuitive point. Great UX, it's so often not about adding more stuff. A lot of the time, it's about what you take away. It's about ruthless subtraction. If a feature isn't directly helping the user achieve that main goal, it might just be noise. It might be something you need to get rid of.
So why does this mindset matter so much? I mean, this isn't just some abstract design theory to talk about. Going goal first has huge real-world consequences for the products you build and, honestly, for your career.
Let's look at the consequences of feature-first design. You just end up creating clutter, you increase what we call cognitive load, which is just a fancy way of saying you make your users think way too hard. And that confuses people. It makes onboarding a nightmare, and at the end of the day, it just drives them away.
And for your career, look, this is absolutely critical. Think about your portfolio. If it's just a list of features you've built, here's a dashboard I designed, here's a filter system I made. You know what that signals to a hiring manager? It signals that you're focused on the what, not the why. It shows a real weakness in your UX thinking.
Now contrast that with a portfolio that's all about goals. When you say, I helped users build a consistent workout habit, that tells a totally different story. It shows you get user intent. It shows you know how to avoid complexity. And it shows you've got the confidence to actually remove features to make the experience better. That is what senior level thinking looks like.
Okay, so if you only take one single thing away from all of this, I want it to be this. We're going to boil this entire idea down into one simple golden rule, a sentence that should guide every single decision you make from here on out.
Here it is, your new golden rule. If you cannot explain which user goal a feature supports, that feature does not belong in your design. Read that again. If you're thinking about adding anything, a new feature, a tiny button, whatever, and you can't tie it directly back to a core user goal, then it shouldn't be there. It's that simple. That sentence is your new quality filter.
And when you start using that filter, I promise the results are incredible. It leads to simpler interfaces, it leads to way better usability, you'll have much stronger case studies for your portfolio, and, the most important thing of all, you'll have happier users who are actually successful.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The most important question for you as a designer today isn't what new feature should I add? No. After all this, the real question is, what feature should you remove today?